almost 50% of the people that come into a counselor's office have had some form of trauma or traumatic injury in the history, contributing to whatever the current distress is. Some people will come in very nervous. Some people might come in shouting and yelling and saying they have trouble with anger and anger management. Other people might present with they're fed up with their kids and they're right up to here with parenting. Or they've never seen that kind of behavior until recently. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Thanks for looking up topics that can improve your mental fitness. If you like this video or any of the videos we do, remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as well, and you'll be notified of upcoming videos. Many people have been impacted by trauma, and I think it's important for us to know what the recovery process looks like. Stay tuned. At the end, we'll provide a couple of the best resources that you could read and look into that can help you with understanding trauma, symptoms that are related to it, and the eventual outcomes that can result. Very important for us to figure out a way to overcome the impact of trauma. It could be arguing with a mate, could be arguing with your boss, could be extra stress at work, anxiety, depression, different psychological or psychiatric disorders. One young lady came in once, she just could hardly look me in the eye, just fidgeting with her hands. Fortunately, they had these little nano dots, magnets, and she picked those up and began fidgeting with them. In probably 6 or 7 sessions, she fidgeted with those, just describing tension and nervousness about school and work and staying really on that topic. Sometimes it takes people a little bit of comfort to develop a comfort with a therapist. At 6th session, 7th session, she opened up about some very serious childhood sexual abuse. That could have been a decade, 2 decades in the past. A lot of people go, why would people come in now? Why would they want to sort this out now? Oftentimes, we don't know what to do when we're kids. We don't have the skills, the resources, or the tools. So our brain is actually able to put things aside through repression, dissociation. We can minimize, downplay, just so we can get up and go to school the next day. We have these defense mechanisms to help us function even though awful atrocities have happened. Sometimes when our children get to the age where we were harmed, that can actually trigger traumatic injury and people's behavior starts to become erratic. It doesn't make sense because they've had 10, 20 years of being fine or seeming like everything was fine. Oftentimes we've been pushing it aside. Could be a death of a loved one, could be a car accident that somebody was involved in, and just never thought much more about it until they were struggling with themselves at 40 or 45. And then, realized that there's some kind of injury there that's still contributing to their explosiveness, or they're shutting down and not really participating. Lots of men and women, mothers and fathers, just not participating in the family very well, not communicating well. They'll look you in the eye, they'll tell you, I've always been this way. No, sorry, I tend to disagree. Babies aren't born that way. We're born to be social animals. So when there's a difficulty with attachment and with relationship skills, developing healthier communication, that could be pointing to some history. Something in their upbringing didn't go well and we keep trying to keep it pushed away. Think of it like pop-ups on your computer. How many times you have a pop-up on the computer and you're like, oh, not another pop-up. I gotta click the X and get rid of that. It's getting in your way. Traumatic injury, one of the symptoms is intrusive thoughts. You could be just doing the dishes or writing an assignment or driving the car. All of a sudden, the memory of the event is right in front of you or some part of the event. So there are many ways traumatic injury will affect us, including the body. Many illnesses are related. Part of what we're coaching is resourcing the body, being able to calm the body and keep it from the yellow zone, orange, red zone, get it down into the green zone, which means your resting state. The animal's comfortable in the parasympathetic zone. So that part of our sympathetic nervous system is there for fight or flight, but the parasympathetic is our resting state. So using things like mindfulness, deep breathing or box breathing, guided imagery, where you develop your relaxed place in your mind and you kind of imagine it, or it could be a real place you've gone to. Grounding exercises where you fixate on something to distract yourself from the distressing situation. Also developing trigger awareness. What are the types of things that set you off? shut you down or get you to do an outburst. So we are looking at current behaviors and then looking at things that might be contributing to the triggers. And then we also look back into the history. By doing a developmental history with you, we can actually explore some of what might be contributing to the specific concerns you're having right now. EMDR is another great strategy that we've learned about in the last 30 years, evidence-based, using eye movements and bilateral stimulation. You can actually go into the unconscious mind and let your unconscious mind sort through files, sort through traumatic injuries, and reprocess them to the point where you can feel more emotionally balanced. So when it comes to trauma and recovery, there are many things you can do. A couple of the best resources. Judith Herman wrote the book Trauma and Recovery in 1992. What an excellent book. She spends half the book talking about the impact, a very detailed impact. If you're not ready for that, if you're feeling already still a little bit nervous, leave that part out. Go right to the second half, which is about recovery. And she talks about getting more community, facing some of those issues in the past, remembrance and mourning, developing a sense of belonging again in community with friends and relatives and social connections. And then there's Bessel van der Kolk's book, The Body Keeps the Score, where he looks a lot into the body and how the body has recorded memory. So some people will have a memory or they'll have a targeted trauma that they want to deal with in EMDR, and their body will actually call up that upset stomach, or the shoulder pain that was related to an injury, maybe a fight that was happening when they were younger. Someone the other day went to when they were 12, when somebody, a young girl, was teasing her miserably about body, look, shape, size, and how that sticks in the brain and then can get added to by the thoughts in our brain, by social media, other contributing factors. Check out Trauma and Recovery. Check out The Body Keeps the Score. Leave us a comment. If you'd like a little bit more detail, another video, let us know that as well. Hit the subscribe button or the notification bell, and we'll let you know when other videos come out. In the meantime, know that there's a lot you can do to recover from traumatic injury and a traumatic past, and it's a step-by-step process. Take care out there.